Good morning, you beautiful people. So on that side, one of the goats are being harvested.
Yeah.
And on this side, we are loading the rest of the onions to go to market. Lucas is adding more onions there in the back. The sky has got a very funky tone to it this morning. Strange. Almost misty weather. Hot as hell though. But very, very nice and very strange. We have an example of two ways that biological ways of controlling flies. This is just a trap with some fish guts inside, and the flies go in and they can't go out. Only problem with this one is some maggots being born inside. The idea is to flood it, then afterwards kill all of it, and then you have nice chicken food. That's the one. The other one is this one over here. This is another way of controlling flies. Very nice eco-friendly way. A chameleon. And today he decided to be black. I'm not sure whether it's because he's on something black. Normally they turn black when they're upset. But he was black even before I found him. He's also losing his skin. You can see there. So that might also be a reason why he decided to be black today. But how cool is that? Two bio fly controllers in the same tree.
So today the guys managed to dig 3 African smile. So we have 13 African smile.
And I also just wanted to thank Fiona. So this rebar and those bags of cement will go into the floor of Moremi's room. We're still struggling with the municipality to come out and people to draw plant files, etc. We're still struggling to get everything legal. But our trouble will remain the same whether the foundation is there or whether there's a floor already. So we just want to make some progress. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put the floor down probably on Monday, I hope. But for now we already have the materials. So Fiona, thank you so much for that. Then over here on the western side of the property, I quickly wanted to show you the progress of the beehives. So these wires still have to be tightened, etc. But the wires have been placed just behind the swale that comes from the railroad. That is the swale that comes from the railroad. We'll probably have to debush it again. One problem with swales is they grow stuff really well. So we'll have to debush the swale a little bit, at least on the entrance side. See there, the water comes from that gentle berm, rollaway berm, as what is that ponding water guy calls it? roll ad berm. Anyway, from the railway, water comes in here. So the berm keeps the water from running into the bees, and then this will be a giant bee colony. So very interesting from people is that they talk to me about the native bees being endangered by the regular new bees. It's such a strange thing. I've never heard of it until I organized the bees, and then all of a sudden people said, listen, these bees are going to endanger the native species, which makes a bit of sense. If you bring in goats, for instance, the native animals will not have as much to eat. So it does make sense to me, and I just never thought of that. Would really love to hear your opinion on that. Hopefully we'll have enough flowers to feed everybody, feed the native bees and these bees, the honeybees. It's a very new concept to me, new thing that I've never thought of. And yeah, everybody was always, you need to get bees, you need to get bees. Now that I'm getting the bees, there's quite a lot of people saying what is the English word? But creating problems for yourself. I don't know if you have a term for that. Our Afrikaans term, directly translated, is actually quite funny in English. But it means something like you're hoarding manure. Like you're putting manure into a camp or something like that. You're hoarding manure. So if you think I'm hoarding manure by getting bees, I'm not buying them. We're not getting anything from it. I said to my wife, if we get a jug of honey every now and then, that would be awesome. But we do get the pollination, and then another thing that we can show people, which I think is quite nice. Dieter Radek is a German guy, very willing to do bee courses. So I think that could be something quite nice. But yeah, so if you're thinking I'm hoarding manure, we'd love to hear your comments about that. People think I'm lying, or I'm feeling like I'm almost lying, but I've been in the post office so many times now, and it's just crazy. You can see the queues behind me, people and people and people, and various reasons, but one of the reasons is the systems are down. So I have the packet physically in my hand. I went to Namara, the tax people, I paid the taxes on the package. I cannot get my package released. It's been lying there for, feels like since middle December. Can't get my package from the post office. So that's my life at the moment. I am friends with the one lady, and she said, listen, this thing goes on and off, on and off, on and off. So I'm going to call you if it goes on. Somebody said the chickens need fresh bedding. I agree. It's basically sawdust and manure at the moment. Definitely need to clean it out a little bit, and then yeah, have it like that. However, they spend most of the day outside. They've just started moving in now, but most of the day they are on the outside. Not that it's an excuse. Definitely need to give them fresh bedding. There's one extra thing to do still. It is super cool is all of these chickens were in the cage now before I came here, and I just opened the door. I wanted to count them, and they all started rushing outside and started grazing again. I love the fact that they prefer grazing above the high protein food that's in there. There's some stuck at the buckets that maybe they haven't seen the doors open yet, but the other ones rushed outside and started grazing. And I'm so glad that this is the lifestyle that these chickens are choosing. I've had so much resistance from people about raising the chickens this way. A friend of mine said to me before we started, listen, can't I buy chickens with you and we share the expenses and then we share the harvest? And I said sure, and then I explained to him how we're gonna raise them, and then he said, well, in that case, go do it yourself. I'm not gonna raise a bunch of dead chickens. So I'm very, very grateful that these chickens are living this way. We're about halfway in, about with the expenses that we were last time. This time we haven't seen as much growth, that is true, but I believe that at the end of the day, the amount of meat for the amount of money that we've spent is gonna make a lot of sense. This is gonna be incredible. The chicken people are also under new management now. So the last time I was supposed to receive chicks, I think on the 2nd of January, and I think we ended up getting them only on the 15th. No, I'm in December. It's something silly. We waited 2 weeks, extra weeks for chicks to arrive. So new management, the company's been taken over, and so we might have a smoother way of getting healthy birds, which is quite cool. It's the end of the day. Sitting here at the fireplace, trying to get my duck in a row. Here's my duck. My duck doesn't want to get in a row, so listen, the best thing that you can do for me is watch another video. There's a thingy at the end of the videos where you can watch another video. That way you can help my mission, and we can build a bright future together. But for now, that's going to be the end of my story. See you tomorrow.